So like we all knew, Trent told us last week that his luggage pull, he was informed, was going to be cut, that he would still have an Easter egg moment, which he did. It was a major blink and you miss it moments compared to what they cut. It's just like there was no middle. It was either a minute and a half, very long, like clip of him dramatic exit, or like a split second of him drinking a beer, like standing behind the group of women in Vienna. But he pulled Genevieve's luggage. It was very, they really did build this moment for him, which I have to say, like, I am so pissed that they cut it, but I also kind of appreciate that they really teed this up for him good.
Hi, can you please help me with my bags?
Yeah.
I was not expecting Genevieve to go home, but it does feel like the best way for her to go out. I'm still like emotional over it, but you know.
Yeah. Although it's really tough to see after hearing from Genevieve, it's like it was the right decision.
Yeah, he totally could have waited till the rose ceremony to send her home and like not had a conversation with her at all.
Thank you.
I think it just shows how intentional he is with this process, and like as sad as it is, I know that he can still see his end goal and he's still keeping that in mind at all times.
Like they had him knocking on the door. They had Genevieve being like, "Can you take my bags?" Like it was a whole thing that I don't understand why they would go through that length of putting together that moment just to not put it in the episode.
I think when people watch the deleted scene standing alone, they're like, yes, this comes across very comedic, comes across as a skit, a parody of some sort, right? But I think if they just played it in the episode, it would play. Like, I think it would just work out. I think it would be like, okay, Genevieve's going home. People don't take half this shit on the show seriously anyway. It's not like we're always like, oh my God, this is so sad. Like, we've laughed at Clayton saying he's broken on the teaser week after week now. Like, I think that this scene would have played perfectly. They could have cut like 50 seconds out of it and it still would have been a minute long. They didn't need the whole thing, but it could have been quick cuts of him opening up the door, her saying, "Can you help me with my luggage?" He takes it down the stairs, send her off on her way, wave goodbye. Like, they definitely could have cut it down. I love that they released the extended version online so we could see the whole thing. But the fact that not even any of that was put in is just bullshit. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's so ridiculous to film this entire thing with this man who everybody loves on Twitter, right? Everyone's like, luggage guy Trent, luggage guy Trent. It causes a huge commotion. Even right now with this clip being tweeted out, everyone's like, oh my God, this clip is amazing. Yeah. They have to be kicking themselves being like, oh, we could have had the most viral clip of the night last night, and we just chose to put in a standalone shot of him, which was still probably the most viral clip of the night, with him just standing there drinking a beer. Yeah. But useless. He flew to Vienna. We now could say he flew to Vienna for this. And I stand with Trent. That's really all I could say. I think it's stupid. Yeah. I think it's really stupid that they did that.
There were some very funny tweets last night of people being like, wow, they're going to Vienna. I had no idea. And it was never mentioned before. But yeah, no, I'm very confused why, like, yes, I do like that we got to see like the full extended version of the luggage pull, but I guess, I don't know, I guess the setup of it, the way it fit in the episode with Clayton putting her in the car and then her driving off, it would have been like a whole extra moment of her leaving instead of just having the end of Genevieve be like right at the end of
they could have
Clayton sending her home.
We had long one-on-one dates, really long one-on-one dates that they could have cut down at least one.
Serene's one-on-one date was like 6 minutes long.
Okay. Then they could have cut down the other ones a little bit. Yeah. Susie's could have been cut down.
Yeah.
I mean, anything could have been cut down from this episode. to fit
Yeah, there was
that
a
1
shit
minute
ton
in
that
there.
a bizarre, like, and I also think it did not help that a shit ton happened in this episode, just as far as like we started with 8 girls and ended with 4. Like a lot happened, or I started with 9 girls, I think. Yeah, I started with 9 girls. Yeah, when the episode started and ended with 4. So a lot did happen, but to not even just like it could have been 10 seconds of him just walking down the hallway with her bags. That's it. It would have been perfect. But anyway, clearly that's, they didn't feel the same. We'll get Trent's thoughts on it next week, but it's a lot. It's a lot to fly to Vienna to not have that moment.
It is.
Not have that moment put in.
They have to be thinking to themselves, or they're trying to convince themselves they made the right move. Like they're sitting in a room right now. They're like, guys, don't worry. It's going to be okay. We made the right move. It didn't fit. It didn't fit into the show. Meanwhile, on the inside, they're like, fuck. We should have just put that in.
Should have just.
The fact that they said it or whatever, who knows why they cut it, but I think it would have fit just fine. It wasn't this dramatic exit from Genevieve that then Trent comes in and makes it funny. They just didn't have a great connection.
Yeah, like their connection between them was not strong at all. And the way she left was really not dramatic. She barely cried. It was fairly mutual. Like really just seemed like Genevieve in the car. I mean, we can talk about this when we get to it as well, but it really did not feel like it was this big emotional exit that couldn't have had a little laugh thrown in there.
I still think it would have been a perfect like post-credit, like, you know how they do that thing?
Yeah, the fact that they don't have that be a post-credit, the post-credit was Susie and Clayton dancing in there in like Lederhosen. Like you could have just made that be
like
Trent.
Just Trent walking down, like the credits are going.
Totally.
Like,
that would have been so much better. I don't know why they wouldn't even do that.
Just to use it on TV in any sort of aspect.
Yeah. I know. Well,
we want
this
Trent's
is the thing, right? This is the thing.
You better pay for his flights, ABC. We want compensation. And that's not coming from Trent. That's coming from his backups.
Yeah, it's coming from his security guards.
I'll be knocking down their door for however much that was.
Because I also think they try and get, which they do, try and get best of both worlds, right? They get him there, they film it, they get the whole episode, and then they still can try and get like the digital moment by.
They could have had both. They could have had it on TV and also the digital moment.
No, I know, but I'm saying maybe for some reason they didn't want to put Trent on TV.
Well, that's stupid.
I know.
I think it's stupid.
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
No, it doesn't. So, justice for Trent. Maybe he'll get another shot. I don't know.
Should he give them another shot?
We joked about. Well, look, we have to be nice to him about it because we may have our feelings, but when it comes down to it, Trent loves being the luggage guy.
I know,
he really
he
does.
Seemed pretty like. Right, last week he was like, it might be over.
No, absolutely. But I'd be shocked if another opportunity came up that maybe it was more reasonable. He didn't have to go so far. Yeah. Things are paid for or whatever.
I'm sure he has like trust issues.
Yeah,
now.
maybe he'll negotiate a little bit more now, but I don't know.